Dear colleagues, welcome to Udaipur, the beautiful city with man-made lakes in Rajasthan, India. This is a white mature cataract. Let us observe the surgical steps. This is the main incision on the posterior aspect of the limbus. And now, one side port is being made on the right side of the main incision, and an air bubble is injected into the anterior chamber. Beneath this air bubble, I inject trypan blue dye to stain the anterior capsule of the cataractous lens. And now the dye is washed out with BSS, balanced salt solution. And now 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. Yes, it is only SPMC and not sodium hyaluronate. 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose is injected into the anterior chamber. And now one more side port is made on the left side of the main incision. In this case, these side ports are about 3 clock hours away from the main incision. And now capsulorhexis. I incise the capsule and make a C-flap. There is some convexity of the anterior capsule, so I want to do a mini rhexis first. Here it is. And I find that the capsule tends to go to periphery. But since it is a small rhexis, I can easily bring it back and do this weird small rhexis. And now some cortical matter is removed through this small opening to decrease the intralenticular pressure. And if you do this, if you remove some amount of cortical matter, if you decrease the convexity of the anterior surface of the lens, the tendency of the capsule to run to periphery will not be there. Viscoelastic substance is injected again, and now take a Vanna scissor and make a small cut somewhere. It should not be a radial cut, it should be an oblique cut. Hold this tag with a Utrata forceps. Must learn to use Utrata forceps. Lift the anterior lip of the main incision, go all around and do this adequate sized rhexis. Now enlarge the mini rhexis into an adequate sized capsulorhexis. And now visco is injected again, and this is the time to introduce the tip of the phaco handpiece. The machine being used is Oatley Cataracts 3. Here goes the tip. Go bevel down, turn, make the bevel up, and now bury the tip into the substance of the nucleus. Go forward to some distance, hold the nucleus firmly, and then chop it. Turn the nucleus and chop it another place. If you find any free nuclear fragment, you can emulsify and remove it. So one heminucleus has been removed. This is the other heminucleus. I'm just rotating this, holding it at another place, chopping it into 2 pieces, and each fragment is emulsified and removed. Phaco power used in this case was 65%, flow rate was 45 ml per minute, and vacuum was 450 mm of mercury. Viscoelastic substance is injected again, and now is the time to remove the cortical matter. You can use a bimanual irrigation aspiration. Here I am using a very simple, very efficient instrument. It is a 23 gauge Simcoe attached to a glass syringe, attached to a 10 cc glass syringe. And now cortical cleanup is done. Pushti capsule is very clean, doesn't need any polishing in this case. And now viscoelastic substance is injected again, and now is the time to implant an intraocular lens. In this case we have selected a very beautiful lens. It is Hoya from Japan. It has got the best preloaded system in the industry. The lens, the leading haptic goes into the bag, and the trailing haptic is also placed in the bag. You can take help of a Sinski hook to place the trailing haptic into the bag. And now there is lot of viscoelastic substance in the anterior chamber and in the capsular bag. We must remove it very nicely. First use a Simcoe cannula and remove some amount of viscoelastic substance from the anterior chamber and from the capsular bag. Thorough removal of viscoelastic substance is necessary to avoid post-op rise of intraocular pressure. After using viscoelastic substance, I take the irrigating probe of bimanual IA, introduce it into the anterior chamber. Here it is. The irrigating probe goes all around, remove the visco from the angle of the anterior chamber. From the anterior chamber, pushes the lens, goes behind the lens and remove the visco from the capsular bag, and thus a thorough removal of viscoelastic substance is carried out. And then bimanual irrigation aspiration is used together for few seconds. And now this is a bit of moxifloxacin. Now the paracentesis openings are to be closed. BSS is injected into the stroma on either side of these small openings, and the stroma gets hydrated and they close the openings. And now is the final lavage of the anterior chamber. Dear colleagues, I am on vacation, I am on tour, but still I am doing this just to inspire you to hammer on your head every day so that you keep your motivation alive, strive hard and improve your competence in surgery. Be a great surgeon and do very good service to the mankind. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this will help you in developing your surgical skills.